0% capital. Had to talk to the banks, had to fix your own credit, had to boost your score to the 800 club, guaranteed in 30 days or less, had to be able to maneuver your applications to put what we call a mass supply application sequence in the right order. That's 10 to 50.
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott, and today is the day you guys get stuck with me. So, being that you are stuck with me, I have several things on my mind. I got several things on my mind, and some of what is on my mind right now is talking about this damn property management company. So, I hired on a property management company, and if you've hired on a property management company in the past, like I have, then I'm sure there's ups and downs. I hear more negative things than positive things out there, but not all property management companies are the same. So it's unfair to say one sucks and the other one doesn't. All right. I believe everything boils down to how you lead. Okay. And full transparency, a lot of us are poor leaders, me included. Or looking to become better leaders, I should say. Okay. Words are powerful, so you want to make sure you're not totally just bashing yourself all the time. But I would say a lot of us hire on professionals, and it's like the quick magic fat loss pill we're looking for. And so, like, wave a magic wand, hire them out, set it, forget it, walk away. And while that might sound like the perfect vision, and it does sound very tempting and amazing, in my personal experience, it's just never been reality. It takes time, energy, effort in anything that you have to work with the individual you've hired on, right? It's a team effort to be able to get the outcome that me, want. And so when you invest in anything, you're going to want to work with the other person, meet them 50-50 halfway, guide, support them to do their best job to serve you. And so back in October, we hired on this new property management company here in San Diego because we were selling all of our Ohio stuff, selling our New Jersey stuff, wanted to laser beam focus, elevate, delegate, and I wanted to stay very lean and mean and crystal clear on what we're doing. And so putting more of our energy and efforts into Credit Counsel Elite, as well, because the impact and the overall blessings from it and the team that we've built to be able to continue that impact. For the real estate stuff, we wanted to just get a little bit more hands off and not have to deal with a couple hours here and there. Jen used to handle the Airbnb stuff, and I was tired of hearing calls in the middle of the night, we're about to go to sleep, or during the holidays and stuff like that. I'm just like, no, like, we're not doing any of that nonsense. So no matter how much we've elevated and delegated and systemized and outsourced, there's still some sort of human touch that needed to be done. And eventually you pencil it out and it's like, doesn't even make sense financially. Or should we just completely outsource? And so what we did here in all of our properties out here in San Diego, we ended up we did a bunch of due diligence and found a property management company that we believed in. And what we really fell in love with, outside of just believing, testing, and after doing our due diligence with our family office contacts, we found this individual, this company, and they're in several different locations, and they run their business off of EOS. And that's what we run our business on. And we're like, that's like the Bible for, I always say it's like the Bible for business. Like, it's like the truth for the business. And so we're like, hey, if they're running their business, like, and they've been doing it for like 5 or 6 years, I'm like, they gotta be onto something here. And with all, again, human beings, it's always a communication type of thing. It's always a transparency type of issue. Over communicate, over communicate. And so a couple things that ended up getting frustrating this week. Number one, nobody's going to care about your money. I'll repeat it. Nobody, zero buddies is going to care about your money the same way that you care about your money. Okay. Number two is the point of contact that you are working with. If they don't have what you have, how can they think like you think? I'm dealing with a younger gentleman that he doesn't have his own property. He doesn't not just own his own property, he doesn't have any investment properties. How can he think like a business owner or an investor? He's probably just looking at me like I'm the rich guy that's cheap, which is all fine and dandy, but the math doesn't make sense, then, and if I'm just let people just slide and keep going, it costs me a lot of money, not a little money, a lot of money. I'm talking thousands upon thousands of dollars. I'm talking about one particular situation being, we have new tenants come in. There ended up being some water damage right away. And I'm like, wow, how convenient. With that being said, they get a quote and they did good. They didn't get one quote, they got 2 or 3 quotes. With that being said, it wasn't alarming to them with the 3 quotes they got of all of them being different, not just financially, but of what the problem was. 2 of them come back similar, one of them completely different. So I'm like, okay, so which one is it? Which one is it? The one that they are wanting to utilize, and they brought it up to my attention after about a week, is now we got to make a decision right now. It's a decision right now because we got to get, it's been a while. It's like, I'm just getting notified of this now. Why wasn't I notified beforehand? But this quote is 8 grand. It's like 7 to 8 grand. It's like with something like that I'm paying for, we're going to need to know a little bit more in details. And I could probably save some time and try to help out because I know the property. And so with that being said, what took place is their quote was nonsense. They had no idea what the true issue was, and it was wrong. So I would have, if I didn't step in, they would have charged 7 to 8 grand, didn't fix the problem, and it would have been back in a couple weeks. And the property management company is saying like, well, they insure all their. I'm like, I guarantee it. All contractors insure their stuff until they come back and they say, well, that wasn't the issue. It's in this area and we fix this area. And that's, that area is good. That works good. So we can't give anything free. We need to fix this area. We didn't know at the time. So, that's how it's going to be, just like insurance, right? So you want to be just cautious of it. You want to have that over communication with the team and let them know like, hey, I need to be notified when there's an emergency like this right away. Number one, right away. Number two is you don't have the authority to, I've had emails from them saying, if we don't hear back from you within this date, which is in like 3 to 5 days, we will assume that you want to utilize this landscaping company or this or this or that. And it's like significantly more. Like, and it's on like subscription that it adds up to like thousands of dollars more when in reality it's not needed. It's like I already have my own guy, like a third cheaper that's on file that has worked with us and that can work for you and so forth. It's like we just need to communicate. I've given you the contact. So don't put your guy on there, put my guy on there because he's a third of the price. We don't need it on subscription. We need it every 6 months, not every 2 weeks, things like that. And so I had to silence that of like, hey, you don't have my authority actually, so don't give me those emails and I will always communicate with you, but you need to get a verbal from me right away. If for some reason I get hit by a bus, or I'm on vacation, I'm traveling, I don't see your thing because it was in spam or promotion tab or something else, you do not have my authority to just rack up my credit card on file or the account in general. So anyway, with that water situation, we ended up using a waterproofing specialist. I negotiated the price and got $300 off. Nothing crazy, but still save some money. In addition to that, went back to their initial contractor and negotiated $4,000 off. It adds up. It adds up. Getting clarity on the whole process, and it got done a heck of a lot sooner. With all that being said, I'm still paying for them to manage, a 10% fee and all this other nonsense. And then getting into arguments with them because, the electric was the breaker box went off. And because it's a duplex, they go outside to fix it, but they're looking at the wrong breaker box because they're morons and they didn't bring it to my attention. And so, the one breaker box that they're looking at is totally good, no issues. They don't think to look at the one right next to it that is a duplex. And maybe that one should be addressed and looked at as well. And that would clearly show one of them is off. So instead, what do? Instead of calling me, notifying me, they hire on an electrician to go out and charge a couple $100s to flip a switch. So it's things like that that can be extremely annoying, very frustrating, and a heck of an expensive learning curve. And I say all that to say this, that the name of the game is elevating and delegating. And in the beginning season of working with anybody new, there is some learning curves. There's some frustration and pain points, and they're not going to care as much as you care. They're not going to consider all the things that you consider because they're not thinking the same way. They are trying to do one thing and one thing only and just get a tenant in there and solve problems quickly. And they only know how to hire on people and elevate and delegate themselves. But all that costs money, and the money isn't paid by them, it's paid by you. So they're not going to care how much they spend. They're just going to say, "Oh, we had to do it." So be on the lookout of that. Have that over communication type of language and meetings with them frequently, because otherwise it the way that they might think, or the way that they might align certain next steps plans might be what they're used to, doesn't mean that it's how it should be. Doesn't mean that you can't come in with a creative spin to solve problems, to be able to truly save you time and save you money. Another example is another property that they're managing for us. Again, we threw a lot of properties all at once. Another property that they're managing is something where we're doing some ground up construction on the property, and it's rented out. The main home is rented out to 3 younger guys who were complaining about the construction right away, but it's in their lease agreement. Like it was explained. It should have been explained. That's number one. I believe it was explained, and they said it was explained, but not in full detail. So anyway, as long as there's no pulling underneath the rug and so forth, the construction process should be very quick. It started in December. They are rocking and rolling. I'll share more about that in just a moment. But the tenants were mentioning that the contractors are using water and electric. And I'm like, what would they be using water for? And the electric, maybe they're just plugging in to charge their power tools here and there. Probably not much though. They're only there from Monday to Friday. They're doing, 8-hour days. They probably come with their stuff already charged. At lunchtime, maybe here and there, it's probably nothing too significant. Maybe when they're pouring the concrete, they needed some water to clean off things. It's like, it's probably not too significant. But, again, the property management company doesn't know how to handle that. So instead, they're trying to get me to put it in my name, all the utilities, and then try to hunt down the tenants for them to pay a portion of it later on, when they're telling me that I should only be paying maybe 10% of their bills. And I'm like, whatever, I'll pay the 10%, but I'm not going to put it in my name. I'm not going to take my time to put it in my name. I'm not going to put the time to look at the bill every month and send it over to you to send it to them and then hope and pray that they compensate back in some way. Like, why don't we just give them 10% off of them turning it in each and every month, and they can credit that to their next month's payment or something for the mortgage or for the rent. Like, the construction is only going to be there for another 6 months. Like, doesn't that make sense? It's already in their name. Why would it's going to cost me time and money to be able to do all this and waste my time? That's not elevating and delegating the way that I wanted, and am trying to hire this property management company to come on. And they're just not thinking about it the same way that I am, because they're not business owners, the main point of contact that I'm in business with. So that's things that you're going to want to I feel like this is more like a venting session, honestly. I feel like a therapy session. So I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but if you are considering a property management company, if you are like I there's reasons why for 10 years I was managing our properties 3,000 miles away. Why? Because I was didn't have as much money back then and when I initially got started, and it was cheaper, and it was also it felt easier, and it felt like I needed to systemize the business anyway 3,000 miles away. And then the more I was looking into property management companies, they were all like criminals. So that location in Ohio is like they're all criminals, like doesn't have good reviews, doesn't look good. Here in San Diego, this company was vetted, looked good, good reviews, all the things, and I still have faith in them. I think there's just heavy learning curves in the beginning. It is part of my goals to elevate, delegate, and have somebody that I can trust managing. And once all of it's rented out and things are dialed in, it is going to be more of a seamless type of hands-off approach. And it will feel good in certain seasons when we're traveling and emergency pops off. They handle it with grace and it's not costing an arm and a leg. But some of that I will have to train and hold accountable in the beginning stages until we get to know each other well enough and they know how I react to things and how I think about things. And it just takes time with all that being said. So if you're looking to do the same thing, elevate and delegate, do your due diligence, have over communication, figure out what it looks like in certain, points. It will cost more money. Nobody's going to care more about your money than you. So have certain lines where it's like, no, you don't cross these type of things. Have protection, but it is part of the game to be able to elevate and delegate to save you time where you can put your time and bandwidth to other areas where you can make more money and save your sanity. So that's my 2 cents on that. The overall experience for property management, again, it's a love and hate relationship, but one that I believe it's going to serve us for the better in the long run. And again, depending on where you live, depending on your finances right now, does it make sense? Like we have a bunch of properties. We had over, I think 11 units or 12 units that were outsourcing right away. It's like that's a bunch that we just don't want to have the time and energy into anymore. So Jen just got done selling all the furniture because we had it all Airbnb. She was hustling and bustling everywhere and did a great job, networked and prayed with a ton of people and helped out several other people with like some Airbnb templates and all the other stuff that she has worked her butt off in the past, set up and structure for us and our company, for our family. And yeah, couldn't be more proud of her. Grateful to have all that stuff done. We only have one more unit that we're looking to rent out and getting a lot of interest on it right now. So we should be getting that dialed in here very soon. With all that being said, there is that one property I was talking about, construction. So let's talk about that. So the ground up construction has been amazing so far. They tried starting December 1st, and the tenants ended up pushing back, not letting them on the property, and so much nonsense. That took about 2 weeks until I think the 10th or so is when we finally got some breakthrough and said, "Nah, dude, we're going. Like here, you've been notified hard. Like we're starting." And they've been rocking and rolling, like rocking and rolling. They cleaned up the area. They ended up doing some demo. They ended up getting some land like all laid out properly. They did the framing to start laying the concrete, got rough plumbing together. They ended up getting the whole foundation concrete wise in the back built out where they're building 2 units. They finished the framing, not just on the front unit garage converting into a unit, but also they're dialing in. I think they're very close to finishing the framing in the back, which is incredible. Like quick. We've already spent, like I said, they did rough plumbing. We've already spent about 280,000 on the construction and increments in 50,000 and then 2 different increments of about 115, 118,000 in I pay all with credit cards. Always pay credit cards. Why? Because you get points, you get protection, easy bookkeeping. Okay? The contractors alone like pay with a credit card because it gives you protection. I'm paying, a couple grand for protection At the end of this, it's going to be, I think, around 30, 40,000 I will have paid extra in interest, or sorry, in transaction fees. You can negotiate that. I've done that in some cases. This one I didn't, but I've already negotiated heavily on the overall price up front. And I got it down from originally it was 350, some even gave me quotes almost $400 square foot. We got it down to $300 a square foot, and we got, so in total it's about 650 to be able to build, put 280 into it already. So we got about 370 or so thousand balance remaining over the next few months as they build out. Now, some of the learning curves that we have experienced, because again, it's costing $300 square foot to build, but it's worth about 900 square foot afterwards. That's going to be incredible BRRRR strategy. If you aren't familiar with the BRRRR strategy, I don't know where the heck you've been, but I was talking to somebody earlier today. As much as I always think and assume everybody knows the BRRRR strategy, right? Everybody. I was talking to a gentleman, it was like going heavily over his head. I was like, holy smokes, my friend, let me, like, where you been? Where you been? The BRRRR strategy. I was explaining it's like a fix and flip, like for a one-time payout, except instead of a one-time payout, which is like a high-paying job, high-income paying job, a one-time, you're actually just refinancing, and you might not get any money up front. You might get a little. You might have to walk away with paying just a little bit, but ideally you get all your money back and you go to the next one. But now you own the property. It's just a regular mortgage that's on there. Ideally, that dollar amount is low and it rents out for more. Now you get tax benefits, cash flow, and appreciation over time, plus all your money back. You can repeat the process. So the BRRRR strategy, if you don't know, it's buy, renovate, rent, refinance, repeat. Okay, so you're buying something beat up from the feet up, the worst one in the neighborhood. You make it brand new again with the renovations. Make it sexy. Make it super brand new. All right. Then you get a bunch of people fighting over it. Why? Because it's sexy and everybody wants to get there and they're willing to pay top dollar for it. Now, because they're willing to pay top dollar, you have a producing business. Now it's an income producing home. Now you can take it back to the bank and they will give you 70 to 80% of whatever, depending on that bank and your location, depending on the investment and that banker, they will give you 70 to 80% of whatever it would have sold for, what it appraises for, right? So now, that money that you would have had extra to be able to like profit one time, you're just going to have equity in it instead. Okay. Now you can take out all the money that you had into it, again, using credit cards, use these bad boys to purchase and renovate. Then you can actually, like, say you have 70,000 into it, but it's worth 100, you get the 70% back, you pay off your credit cards, and you repeat the process. You can get a HELOC for the second piece to try to go, up to 90% or whatever, for a second lien position. So there's so many different ways you can capitalize off of it. That's what we've done personally to be able to go from nothing to $14 million in real estate assets. It's been incredible. I have no money in any of the real estate. We have 4.3 million in equity. We get millions of dollars in tax benefits and the 50,000 plus in monthly cash flow. It's like it's a no-brainer. And if I can do it, trust me, you can do it. All right. But with the construction piece of things, the BRRRR strategy, it's just a value add. Same thing with ground up construction. It's a value add. We're taking nothing and we're building something there. It costs $300 to build, 300 a square foot, but it's worth 900 a square foot. There's a $600 spread there. Say it appraises and like the bank is willing to give me 600 of that 900 value, then I get to pay off 300 for the construction. That's how much it cost me. The other 300 to make it 600 is what I get to keep and get to take home and go to the next property with. And now I have 300 in equity that I could take a HELOC with, or I could just use whatever. Like it's a rainy day, whatever. It will keep getting higher with appreciation over time. And it gives me more security and safety. Plus, it will cash flow now with one mortgage of that 600 square foot. These are all examples. I know I'm going fast here. It might be complicated the way that I'm explaining it. I'll work on my transparency and communication skills. But at the end of the day, it's very simple. It's nothing crazy. It's not rocket science. But A couple things is when I hired on this construction company, I did a lot of due diligence. I was slow, I was steady, I was patient. The reason I didn't go back to my normal guys is because every time I've made money with them in the past, they see the next deal and they're like, "Man, this motherfucker like got a bunch of money again and again." And so before you know it, one deal after another, I just see the prices start going up and up and up. And it felt like jealousy and envy from the main person. And I was just like, enough is enough. Like, this is ridiculous. It doesn't cost that much for these things. And just because I can count on them and there's peace of mind behind it, doesn't mean that I should pay it. Like, I should, like, they always say the three things that you can get with contractors and can anticipate is either quality, timing, or price. You can't have all three. And so, quality and timing I could count on, but the price just started getting ridiculous and it started getting unfair that I had to start looking for other options, especially here in San Diego. Like, it just doesn't make sense. But time is very big out here because timing can cost a lot for, big projects. Anyway, ended up getting this contractor. And they have been excellent. They really have. They've been due diligent. They've been quick. They've been timely. They allow me to pay with credit cards. If they didn't, I wouldn't have used them. I would have went with somebody else or I would have taught them how to use it. But I get points, I get protection, and because they're so well known, the inspector that is on this project from the city, they already know. They've already worked together in the past, and there is a know, like, and trust factor. And so that helps. It matters. It does. You don't want to have like the new guy, that is meeting the inspector and, they're bumping heads a lot. That is not good. So we've been able to be blessed with that. A couple learning curves that I do want to address is that the original company that I used that to get the permits approved suck. Like suck. So shout out to ADU Geeks, the worst company in the world. For real, like bad. And I know if you listen to this, I can feel like, man, this Brandon sucks himself. There's a bunch of just venting going on and like horrible things. Life is how it's all life's a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, right? Think about Forrest Gump right now. Anyway, there's plenty of good. There's so much good in this world, okay? But there's also real life learning curves. And I want you to be prepared. I want you to know the truth. Like the construction company that I hired on, ADU Pals, they actually do ADUs from beginning to end, and they're professional on the construction side that I've experienced thus far working with them for the last couple months. Excellent. And I put them through the ringer. I've been interviewing them since August, I think even a little bit before then, but they came as a referral. I did a ton of due diligence and we finally signed agreement in November. They started December, they're rocking and rolling. Like everything's great thus far. Still the beginning, but they're moving quickly and doing well. Great communication. But they had some learning curves in the beginning from the plans that were approved. The plans from ADU Geeks sucked. They didn't do things right. There's measuring or no measuring at all in certain cases. Like they sent people out, but people came back 6 inches short or 2 feet short in certain areas. It's a lot. Whether it's 1 or 2 inches, it's a lot. It's a ripple effect that takes place. And so because of that, they've had to make certain rooms shorter. They've had to reach out to ADU Geeks to try to help and get some communication and transparency going on and some corrections that cost me now more money because ADU Geeks is not taking ownership and they're like, "Hey, once we're approved, it's on you." Which sucks. It's just a horrible, they're worst company. And you can tell when all that's happening when everybody's like that does work with them starts quitting or, they start hiring everybody from other countries that, they nobody actually have boots on ground and their IQ starts going down. It's like, holy cow. Like, how are you talking about ADUs right now? How did you pass for whatever the heck you're entitled for? But what's been cool is even though it's cost me more money with ADU Geeks and they have to submit plans, updating changes with the city, it's been quicker than I anticipated, even though it costs more. the team hasn't stopped construction-wise. They're going, they're making the changes, adapting, and we're rocking and rolling. And so I'm very proud and grateful for that piece of it. Yeah, just super grateful. So with that being said, I also want to share that my birthday is next. Isn't It's not this weekend. It's next weekend. And because next weekend is my birthday, my baby Jennifer ended up hooking me up for this weekend to do a little rendezvous. She's got something, she says, up her sleeve for next week too. I don't know. But she's going to bless me with some basketball tickets tomorrow. So we're going up to LA tomorrow to watch the Lakers versus Golden State. Check out Stephen Curry go against Luka and see how that goes. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Super grateful for an amazing wife, like such an amazing wife. Man, when you find, I know it's biblical, but it's true. Everything in the Bible's true. But there's some facts that really hit you hard when you're like, you see other people struggling with marriages or relationships. And if that's you right now, it can change. Okay, it can change. You start speaking life over those circumstances, and you start speaking wins, and you just start communicating and over serving the other person. Me and Jen overserve each other each and every day, and we fill each other's tanks, and we love on each other hard. And and there's blessings that come from that. And we're just so grateful for, this is the best relationship I've ever been in and the best season of our life for like the last year plus. And so that relationship, when you fellas find a good wife, that's a good thing, right? So anyway, she ended up getting some amazing basketball tickets, some awesome seats. I'm stoked for it. We're gonna be staying at the Ritz-Carlton. I'm stoked for that because they give them a little mints, a little beautiful mints on them pillows, and I like that. I like that. Come on. Amen. But what I wanted to talk to you about is outside of the basketball game and show off my birthday coming up. And if you guys want to send me cigars or something for my birthday, I'm gladly accepting anything. So send it over, baby. I'll take it. I like Patrons, I like my father's, whatever you got. Do whatever God puts it in your heart to do. With that being said, I wanted to share my birthday, all jokes aside, just to share with you about our 3-day virtual boot camp coming up. Man, we just had one. It was excellent. When I say excellent, I mean breakthroughs left and right. We had people like really getting true, vulnerable, transparent, and getting breakthroughs. And so I'm just super grateful for the team putting in the dedication to over delivering to our members that whole weekend. I am grateful for everybody that showed up, participated, and really, I was about to say like perform, but like soaked up this information and took action on this information. Because what it's done for me has been life changing. Like life will never be the same. It won't be. And the same thing with over 4,000 of our members that we've helped out over the years since 2017. We've created Credit Accounts Elite, all right? And so, look, I'm super grateful for everybody that just showed up and said, "Hey, I'm drawing a line in the sand. Enough is enough. I want something bigger, better, and more beautiful." Or I want something for my family, my finances, my future, and for so much more. And and just declaring that and then showing up and really taking that, like that stuff matters. And so I'm super grateful for everybody that partook in that. And if you missed it, you missed it. That sucks. I'm just kidding. No. What's cool is you have another opportunity, my friend. So in just 2 weeks time frame or less, right? On the 20th of February, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd coming up, February birthday special. You come, we are live. We're deep diving into the truth about 0% capital, how to talk to the banks, how to fix your own credit, how to boost your score to the 800 club, guaranteed in 30 days or less, how to be able to maneuver your applications to put what we call a mass supply application sequence in the right order. That's 10 to 50 plus applications in the right order, getting up to 90% approval odds, the highest limits possible, and the best terms and conditions. Learning how to talk to these banks, learning how to position yourself in front of these banks, and setting up your 6 boxes, plus the 45 different metrics, the rules to the game of how these banks and lenders are judging you. We're going to be deep diving into all of that this coming event. Okay, so it's the 20th, 21st, and 22nd of February. Okay, that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in just 2 weeks time frame or less. You're going to want to grab your tickets. The best way that I can instruct you to grab your tickets is doing that right now by going to Instagram page for Brandon Elliott Investments or Credit Council Elite on IG as well. In the bio, you can click it, ticket, good to go, rock and roll, show up, grab our VIP because we give you $3,000 worth of value in it. Course content, a bunch of ebooks and bunch of templates, really positions you to crush it on your own. Plus, you get the VIP, you get one-on-one time with me, ask any questions, and set yourself up for success, and all the recordings. But if you can't afford that, if you're broker than broke, and it feels like a joke, then simply get the general admissions. All right. So there's no shame in the game. Just enjoy yourself. Grab your ticket. Showing up is the first step, and you get breakthroughs from that. So again, it is going to be February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. This February 21st, 21st, 22nd, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're not going to want to miss it. I promise you. You're not going to want to miss it. It would be outrageous and ridiculously dumb if you missed it. So don't miss it. Grab your ticket now, okay? We love you guys. Just want to thank you. This is the update. You're hearing it first, live, right here from your boy, Mr. Brandon Elliott. All right, the credit specialist, real estate investor. If we got some awesome podcasts coming up too that I'll be traveling to, I think my birthday weekend, the 15th, we're going to be flying to Miami, sit down with some good friends and get some podcasting in and impact more lives. So I love you guys all. Enjoy your week. Get out there and crush it. If you're looking to join our live Q&A, like ask me anything type of live streaming that we do, it's every Thursday at 1 p.m. So Thursday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I would be honored if you want to show up. If you have any questions. If you don't show up. But if you have some questions or if you want to watch, we answer live a ton of questions that other listeners have given us in the past. We just compile it all together and we bring you the truth. It's just me and Jen and we have fun. So that's that. If you want to be a part of that, come. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. If you haven't already, you're missing out. You're just simply missing out. Stop missing out. Stop that. Stop that right now. Hit that subscribe button. You will get the newest notification every Monday after listening to a few of those. Or if you just want to jump the gun, I won't blame you for it. Hit that 5-star review. Leave that, share that, all the things. We love you. We thank you. We honor you. And yeah, all the February babies out there. We're doing it big this month. This year's going to be incredible. And I can't wait to see some of the breakthroughs for you guys. Let's have fun out there. And I'll see you guys once you buy your ticket. Like, grab your ticket. Share it out to other people that need their ticket for the 3-day virtual boot camp. It's going to be epic. We'll see you there. Love you guys. God bless.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.